It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
On 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here, along with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. He'll be joining us soon. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Not as windy as yesterday, but still a nice, cool Sunday to end off the weekend.
Yeah, it's not as cold as it was when I was walking the dog this morning, too. It was really cold.
Oh, yes.
But the wind was gone, so that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. I know this.
What?
I guess a little recap. Calvin, what does your article talk about this weekend?
Well, I thought we would. The article is on the wildlife, other wildlife, and I thought one of the things we'd talk more about is deer. We didn't bring that up much, but we did get some response too from. Got a report that. I told everybody about the coyotes competing with the vultures and dragging the deer body, carcass, trying to get it into the bamboo, and all the vultures were swooped around it, just kind of, without getting direct challenge to the coyotes. They were just trying to get them to stop, and then, of course, and the gardeners this was in late morning, so it was a lot of folks are out there watching this process. But I got a call from another gardener who has has a butterfly garden, and he was reporting that his part of the neighborhood, they were watching. Right at that point, they were watching the vultures with a deer carcass, and that one of the other neighbors had reported the day before that the coyote group, a pair of coyotes, were doing that same dragging, trying to get it into cover, and they were not successful either. The vultures managed to overwhelm them, so they were feeding on the carcass, on the same kind of pattern that we talked about with the caracaras initiating the visit, and then the turkey vultures and the other vultures filling their bodies with it. And I think the part of it is one of the main points is that that rutting season was particularly chaotic, and that's in a typical neighborhood that has a lot of deer. When you got the bucks chasing after the does and the young fawns trying to keep up and running around, a lot of them get hit by cars, and then that it keeps the vultures and the coyotes busy, feeding on those deer. Now, another thing we didn't talk about much, Mark, was I think we mentioned a few plants, but deer are really a significant. I'm really into the birds and the butterflies, but deer, and if a neighborhood has them, they're an important part of the gardening success or lack of success, because they They'll feed on most everything.
Yeah. I have a list of things I was supposed to do, and that was the last one I didn't do. Was my deer resistant list.
Well, of course, the obvious ones are vincas
Yeah.
and iris. Iris are one of my favorites that the deer don't seem to eat. Texas mountain laurel.
Yeah, if you go walking through the nature areas, you'll see what actually the deer don't like. So,
Viburnums.
Yeah, viburnums. Some of the smaller plants like the twisted leaf yucca and the soft leaf yucca.
Almost all the yuccas.
Yeah, they do like some of the blooms on the Spanish daggers. They'll eat those, but that's an easy way to go through and determine what. So there's some of the grasses. A lot of people, it's a small cow with antlers. No, they actually do not like grasses. They'll eat what are called forbs in the scientific world. The rest of us call them weeds. And so a lot of they're browsing on a lot of the weeds in our yard, which is always good. But some of the things that you and I talked about during the week were like henbit and what's the one we like? Straggler daisy. What's the other name for straggler?
Horse
herb. Yes.
Yeah, they really go.
Yeah.
And they go, for the chickweed and all of those broadleaf weeds that are so lush right now.
Yeah.
And you see the deer. It looks like they're grazing on the grass when they're actually, like Mark said, they're actually feeding on more likely to be feeding on the broadleaf weeds that are in there. Well, what is that other one that's kind of your favorite?
That's the one you called me about. Was the frog fruit?
Yes.
Is that the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very tough in the landscape, and it makes really nice ground cover, perennial bed. Sometimes we sell it here at Milberger's.
Pollinators love it.
But it's a huge pollinator. There are certain butterflies, and I never remember which ones, but some butterflies really like it. But it is a good pollinator for all butterflies. So it's really nice.
That's one of the main plants in our certified butterfly garden here at Milberger's, too. That the horse herb.
Always reliable.
Yeah, those two, horse herb and
frog fruit.
Frog fruit are the ground covers, the native ground covers that.
So Alex, this is I get these phone calls probably about Wednesday when he's doing his article. I said, "What was that one plant?" And I'm like, "Well, one plant, the one that you're like, oh yeah, frog fruit." Yeah.
It's usually right after I've read about the dementia in old people. It's amazing how you can deal with the name of plants and pesticides and processes for years and years and years, and then suddenly it's hard to remember. Another one that I plant that the deer, I've never had a problem with the deer eating, was that dwarf Chinese holly.
Yeah. So that one that, in fact, you turned me on to that one. Remember, we were landscaping the laboratory down at the treatment center, and I said, "What's this one?" And he goes, "Oh, that's Carissa." And it's one of the Chinese hollies. And then Chinese holly, there's another one. Scientific name is Cornuta, and then it has more pricklies on the end.
Yeah. It's really got an attractive foliage, too. Nice color. And the deer, that seems to have enough thorns, although that doesn't, all the thorns on a rose doesn't stop them from eating.
There is no completely resistant plant except plastic. What's my general rule again? Let's see. Fuzzy, thorny, sticky, smelly. So those are the ones you got to have. So maybe like smelly's rosemary. They won't eat rosemary. They might eat the flowers, but not the foliage.
You know, another thing, Alex, and our audience out there, and I know a lot of gardeners are familiar with this, but sometimes we forget we've been talking a lot about planting new shade trees. Yeah. You got to protect those shade trees, the young trees from the deer. They'll eat that tender foliage, the new stems. And even pull the bark off of some of those. Texas red oak is notorious. But then the other thing they do is especially the bucks, rub their antlers on it. And they really can tear apart that vascular system that surrounds the outside of the trunk. And what do we call that vascular system?
Oh, so we have the cambium layer, and the cambium layer splits into the xylem, which is the water-conducting tissue, and then the phloem, which carries the food down. So we used to, a long time ago, create little things for the kindergartners and first graders to remember. So the phloem flows down. Kind of phloem, even though it's a pH, it's flow down. And then xylem is like, how did we used to do the xylem? Xylem was, taking up the water. Xylem would make some kind of noise for the xylem to take up the water, and that's what it does. But if that is killed or disrupted in any way, that's it.
That will at least cut the growth rate. You can really tell. I had two Texas red oaks, same size, very close together in the yard, and growing at a strong rate. And we let one of them get the deer managed to rub on one half of the trunk, and the growth rate was really just cut in half. Now that's almost as bad from the deer as it is from the string mower. Mm-hmm. That's another way that you can break those vascular system and cut that growth rate, or kill it if you break the vascular system all the way around. Mm-hmm. And it's not the easiest thing to protect the plant against. I like, and I think Mark's favorite too, are those panels, hog panels, and you can make a square out of them, or you can be a little bit more efficient on the space if you make a triangle. But the idea is that you keep the deer. They got to be tall enough that the deer can't get over the top. They got to be sturdy enough that the deer can't push them and knock them down. And so in the past years, we generally would put some fence posts and some flexible wire around there, but that is not the easiest thing to maintain. No. But those hog panels really are much easier to work with. But they do take a little more space, and they're a little more expensive than to do the regular.
But you can use them over and over again.
Oh, gosh,
that's a nice thing about them.
They don't wear out. Except most of us don't have unlimited space for tree planting. But of course, if we let the deer or the string mowers ruin the trees, we'll have to replant them quite often. But that is a thing to make a note. If you're thinking about now is a great time to plant new shade trees, and if you're thinking about it, make sure that you include that in your list of got to protect those trees from the deer, and also keep the string mowers away from them. That's part of the article too. That
Right.
I wanted to emphasize.
And you explained that very well in there.
I guess staying on the subject of deer, what are some of the plants that deer stay away from, or why do they stay away from certain plants?
Well, that's Mark's
Don't you
list.
listen? Don't you listen to me?
I'm just.
He's getting just like me.
I know. He did. It must be the chair.
I think it's this spot. That's
Yeah,
guiding
yeah,
it.
for sure. So, what was it? Stinky, sticky, or fuzzy, thorny, prickly.
They're just.
So
eaters.
So all those, there's a whole lot of South Texas species have that. You think of puntia, prickly pear. They're not going to get into that. And it's spiky. Fuzzy. Some of the salvias are real fuzzy on that, but they also taste bad. They have a distinct flavor. Mexican mint marigold, one we always kind of recommend, or Copper Canyon daisy, its cousin. They have distinct flavors on that.
Licorice.
It's a anise or licorice flavor. So it's unpalatable to the deer.
And the one that I use quite a bit is viburnums. There's all kinds of different sizes and shapes of viburnum, and the deer do not seem to eat them,
Yeah.
and they're shade tolerant, and you can grow them in the sun too. And of course, our classic is the Texas mountain laurel. The deer do not seem to have any interest in them.
And
Now,
Kevin, I like
what-
hollies as well. They seem to be a bit deer resistant.
Especially the yopon.
Yeah.
But I've not had good luck with the Burford. The deer eat the Burford.
Okay.
And
That's
some
kind of thick on that, with a little spiny on the end. But it doesn't have much of a spiny leaf, as opposed to, again, like what we talked about earlier, the Chinese holly that has multiple spines on it. Very unpalatable. Yeah, Texans seem to have a passion for privacy, so they're always talking about hedges all the time. So we like the hollies, zyosma, viburnum, and the Texas mountain laurels. There's good hedges. And don't stick with one species. I always get upset about that. Look at me. Alex is looking at me. He's getting riled up. Yeah, some people go like they'll do 20 xylosma. I'm like, just why? Why? Do 12 and 12 something else.
It's good to
Or
have
multi-layer
variety.
it.
Yeah.
well, they don't eat boxwood either, do they?
No, but have you ever smelled boxwood when it's wet?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nasty.
Well, the thing about boxwood that I don't, it's not my favorite because I can never figure out why it's growing successfully or unsuccessfully. If somebody says, why are half of my boxwoods dying? And I say, well, that's common, but I'm not exactly sure what's causing it.
So yeah, there was a root disease at one time, but it's not really a big thing. So people here again plant a row of boxwoods along the sidewalk leading from the street. Well, then like half of them would die. Why? Well, we could do a lot of testing on it, figure out why, but it's dead. Don't do boxwoods.
Noted. Well,
So I'm sorry, people out there that I'm short terse with, but sometimes it happens. Don't do it again.
don't do it. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We're going to take a quick break with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll be back. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Mark, we got an update on some hollies that Millburgers has for sale? Or
So we
they
just
have on
got a
sale?
report from on the staff. on hollies. Well, she gave me a report. 2 things. They got a whole bunch of hollies in. Nellie R. Stevens, Burford. Yeah, just after Calvin didn't like Burford. We have some dwarf.
Well, I like Burford, but so do the deer.
And dwarf Burford and Nellie R. Stevens, and that's one of my favorite for, again, hedges. Is it's a slightly pyramidal, and maybe 15 feet by 10 feet. So always a good one to use. And hollies, I said, they are deer resistant. We always say resistant. We never say deer proof. But the other thing she told me earlier in the day is they have a whole bunch of lemon shrimp plant. I got to get that straight. So shrimp plant usually come in a salmon color, but they had a whole order of these lemon shrimp plants. Now, shrimp plants are great for shade gardens. So for those of you thinking down in King William and Southtown, where I live, or any place else where you have a lot of shade, Alamo Heights, Almas Park.
Hummingbirds love the blooms.
And then, thank you. And then that's the last thing is, I don't know. I don't know why hummingbirds like Turk's cap or shrimp plant. To me, where are they finding that nectar? But they do. They love both of those.
They do. It's great. Then we for another thing in the article that we want to remind everybody about is that this week in the garden mentioned that we've got the rodeo tomato classes scheduled in February.
That's correct.
Yeah.
February 21st. That's the class here at Millburgers. The number to call to sign up, it's 210-497-3760. The number is 210-497-3760 to sign up for that. There's a mix-up in the newspaper, I believe, where they gave the number to the garden center and not the number to...
And that is strange because 4 people found a way to... I guess they're used to the Millburgers phone number, or they saw the fact that it was listed at the first class is at Millburgers. It's at 10:30 in the morning on the 21st, which is a Saturday, and first 35 people that register will get access, get a free rodeo tomato, potted up in a 1-gallon container, and fertilized by Osmocote. And the whole idea of this is that you want to get access to a newly identified rodeo tomato, or you want to get access to one of your favorite rodeo tomatoes from the past, but it's too early to plant it in the garden. So you pot them up, and then you put them in the and that's, of course, what we talk about in the class. Where you put it in the sun out of the wind, and then you watch for the prediction on the weather. And if it's predicted to be under 40 degrees, you put it inside for protection from the cold. And then about April 1st, you go ahead and plant in the garden. And the real advantage to that process is, of course, you get access to your variety, which is not always the easiest when the high demand for the rodeo tomatoes early. You get access, and we're here in San Antonio in the Central Texas area. We're talking about 2 short tomato seasons, and so this spring season, the idea is we got to get them in and get them growing to beat the heat. Mm-hmm. Now it's hard to believe now when it's cool out here, but and then of course in the fall we got the opposite pressures on us. We plant those in July to get them in place and beat the cold. So it's an interesting story, and the class attracts a lot of attention. If you want to register, like I said, and Alex mentioned the phone number.
Yes, 210-497-3760, 210-497-3760. This is for the class on February 21st here at Millburgers, but there's also another class the following Saturday, February 28th, at the Education Resource Center.
Yeah, over there by Medical Center.
Yes, and there's a separate number to sign up for that class?
Yep.
Yes.
210-382-4455. And the conditions are the same, other than that class starts at 10 a.m. And but you get a free rodeo tomato for the first 35 that sign up. Now both sites can take a larger audience than that, and so far we've had offered the classes at least 3, maybe 4 years, I can't remember, but we've always been able to come up, anybody that wanted a rodeo tomato, we've been able to find them one, but the first 35 get access.
I think you asked that yesterday, Alex. So if it is full,
can you still
get some overflow standing room?
Mm-hmm.
You won't get the materials, but you certainly can listen
You'll get
to
the
Calvin.
Information and the
if
knowledge.
you want to listen
Yes.
to Calvin, yes.
And who doesn't want to listen?
And then one of the real advantages to that class on the 21st is you're here at Millburgers,
Yeah.
and they'll have the new rodeo tomato, and they'll have some of the popular past rodeo tomatoes
I was
too.
going to say, if we cross our fingers
Yeah.
every year, so to make sure that we have the new rodeo tomatoes.
And so
in the booth.
figure out which of those rodeo tomatoes you want, because we tease about this, but they go fast, the rodeo tomatoes, and a number of gardeners have been say, well, I wasn't ready for them for this week, and then 2 weeks later they're all sold. So that'll be the rodeo tomato. Of course, is in the past it's a competitive kind of a process to test the tomato selections, any new tomato selections that are available, and to pick the one that is the most successful in competing, performing with the ones that already exist, and also now, of course, they don't, as we well know and we've talked about a lot. Some of our favorite selections don't last long. They're not all available on the market for a long time because we rely on the commercial.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes the market doesn't provide us the necessary ones that we really like. Celebrity is a long time popular tomato, as well as Tycoon.
Tycoon still.
Valley Cat was one, which I always forget it because the name doesn't evoke tomatoes. The red snapper.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
I know it is.
And Thunderbird is one of the new rodeo tomatoes. Amelia.
See, I like Amelia.
Yeah.
But
I like Thunderbird, and then the red snapper, of course. And what was let's see, you mentioned Tycoon, and what was the other one you mentioned?
I know it's always in the same breath. I mentioned Celebrity and Tycoon kind of in the same breath because all very, very popular, very old-fashioned, but ready to go. Now, Calvin mentioned the seasons, and that's why it's real important to have a determinate tomato, determinate growth, because they stop growing and they put all their energy into the fruit production. Whereas you may hear the term, what's the term? Not old-fashioned.
Indeterminate?
Yeah, it's indeterminate, but not old
Heirloom?
fashioned. Heirloom, yes, that's right. That's right. Heirloom. Now, almost all those heirlooms are indeterminate, which means they grow and grow and grow and grow.
As long as the conditions are well, they grow, and then suddenly it gets to be, too hot, and then it's too late for them, and that's why we pick rodeo tomatoes are always determinate or at least semi-determinate because they move to full size, production size quickly, and then concentrate on producing the fruit rather than just keeping on growing as long as the conditions are well.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting story. You'll enjoy it if you haven't gone to the class. That's one of the things about the class, and the monarch and the milkweed classes are the same. There's always new information, but it's a topic that raises a lot of interest and attention, and folks enjoy the discussion because all the gardeners that are involved are part of that process, and they'll give a report on this is what luck I had, or this is how I tried to do it and accomplish the goals, and it worked pretty well. So you gather a lot of information from those classes, not just from the lecture material and the new scientific material, but also from the experiences of our local gardeners involved in that process.
And it's a ways away, but the Monarchs and Milkweed is March 21st. Here at Millburgers, that's the first one coming up. March 21st for Monarchs and Milkweeds.
Yep. And then again, March 28th is the
at the
Education Resource Center.
That's correct, yes.
And we got, let's see, May 2nd for the New Braunfels class, the Master Gardener headquarters, their garden in New Braunfels.
That one, and then April 23rd in Floresville, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what? It's not, everything isn't specified yet, but it looks like we're also going to be part of the process for the youth Arbor Day program.
In Chavanaugh Park.
That's
correct. Right. Yeah. But you're looking at me like, oh yeah, I forgot which day that is. Now it's in April. Arbor Day is, or the international one is in April. We of course celebrate, being Texans, we celebrate ours in November. Why? Because fall is for planting. So you want to make sure you get your trees into the ground. So yeah, I said it kind of smiling facetiously, but it is. So we changed. San Antonio Arbor Day is usually the first Saturday in November.
So we'll have a lot more information about those monarch classes, and again, we'll have some phone numbers for you to call to register, and we're going to be giving germinated native milkweeds to attendees, and we're going to try something a little different. We're going to try producing seeds, stratified seeds. So that means that the class, when you show up to class, we'll have moved those seeds out of the refrigeration, and they'll be ready to plant. And because our cooperating seed producers say that we could improve our percentage of successful, the germination rate would be relatively the same, but the transplanting is really a tough part of getting the milkweeds to survive. So planting them directly, we're going to try that, see how that works. That's what these classes are about, and this the research that we're part of, and the class is part of, is to figure out which are the best milkweed varieties. It's the only one that the monarchs will lay their eggs on. And then also to which one the monarchs like the best and which ones are the easiest for us to grow. And there's we deal with about 6 native milkweed, and then there's another one, the controversial tropical milkweed, which is another great story because it's the most popular with the monarch, the easiest to grow, but there's a lot of questions about its impact on the migration of our monarchs, and also whether it's, for instance, houses a parasite. So that are some of the questions that we have to answer.
Sounds like fun. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. A couple things here at Millburgers that we have on sale this week. Of course, we have assorted drought-tolerant perennials, variety of salvias, fall aster, and lantanas, regularly $9.99, on sale for $6.88.
You know, we forgot to mention that those perennials are deer-proof perennials too. Salvias and lantanas, the deer don't eat.
Yeah, a lot of the plants we have available here, perennials, are drought resistant, of course, but also deer resistant.
Not deer proof, deer resistant.
No, deer resistant. There's nothing deer proof.
Yes.
Except plastic.
We also have some pansies on sale. 4-inch pot, regularly $179, on sale for $5.
Now the pansies are not deer proof.
No.
I tell this story. This was years ago, and I was planting a bed in the driveway, and I had left the gate open, and I went in to have a quick bite. I came back out. Not only had they eaten all the pansies I had planted, they had eaten all the containers full of pansies that I had there. It was just a bare soil everywhere. They love them. But they're beautiful.
I would consider them probably our number one cool season.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. Yeah, because they seem to tolerate the cold weather the best. Your calendula do a pretty good job of but the pansies are definitely the best.
Aside from pansies, we have violas, also on sale for $5. And of course, we have the Aleppo pine in the 10-inch pots. I think I got that right this time, correct?
Yep.
They're in 10-inch pots.
In the 10-inch pot. They're not 10-inch trees. They're 10-inch pots.
They are on sale 50% off, as well as the Italian stone pine, 50% off.
And Kevin asked me this yesterday, and I have sent Pete out to check on our Deodar cedar selections. So I'm guessing the larger ones, so maybe a 24-inch box, or maybe a 15-gallon, number 15. But he's out there looking for us. So we have them. I thought we didn't have any anymore, but we still have the Deodar cedar, and that's an excellent one.
Yeah, that's what Mark and I are exploring, that because it's one that we used to have as a living Christmas tree option, and it's one that I don't know how many years ago, maybe 15 or 18 years ago, and has done really well in my yard. It's grown as fast as the Arizona cypress. And, of course, the Arizona cypress is pretty invincible here. It's probably qualifies as a native, at least some of the selections. But Deodar cedar, Deodar looks like a spruce, and it's got an interesting shape. And so that's a desirable plant to grow, too.
It's from the Himalayas, Alex.
Very interesting. How to get it over here?
I think maybe a boat.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. But that family includes the deodar and the cedars of Lebanon and the Moroccan Atlas cedar.
Well,
So
I
it's
can
all
see
one big family.
I don't know which country bulletin has maybe Lebanon.
Yeah. It
Has
has
that
on the flag and like the official designation.
It's a beautiful tree, and it does well here. Now Mark and I used to talk about the tips freezing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was back in the old days when we used to get more cold weather.
Yeah. I said in the 80s, late 80s, I think, we discussed that, you, I, and Jerry would discuss that, because it would always have this little shepherd crook on the top. And was it humidity? Because it's a mountain. Or is it cold weather? Or is it a combination of both? Or is it they didn't harden off properly here in South Texas? And then when a front came through, it would take it out. We never did really find out what the answer is, but it didn't seem to stop a lot of them.
Yeah. Now the one I have is 30 feet tall and doesn't have there's no killed killed stem at the top that we would have seen 20 or 25 years ago. I should have knocked on wood there. So, because
what is the weather this week?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be cold, but I don't think it's going to be really cold.
I think the lowest we're probably getting is maybe the low 40s.
Yes.
So, if you're looking for you miss pines or other evergreens, there's some available here at Millburgers. We mentioned those. The smaller ones, the 10-inch containers for Italian stone pine and the Aleppo pine, and then of course Mark's still exploring the Theodore cedars, and then we do have a number of selections on the Arizona cypress.
Yes, we still do, and that's a really good tree, really dependable. They do come a variety of shapes and colors, from a broader pyramid to a more narrow columnar tree. But we're planting those instead of Italian cypress all over town. If anybody's noticed, there are no more Italian cypress. About 98% of them have died here in San Antonio and across the South. From a specific disease or a combination of diseases, rather. So we find that the Arizona cypress is a really good substitution. So, and we have them here.
So what is the Leyland cypress? That's one that does so well in California? Or
Yeah, that's they tried them here. They didn't like our clay soil and they didn't like our temperatures. So they were a cross between, if I can remember correctly, a cross between a Pacific Northwest tree and maybe a little further south cypress. But they did not do well.
Yeah, they were in a lot of literature, and a lot of landscape architects thought they were a wonderful plant.
They have lovely foliage, but I wouldn't plant them here.
Yeah, they had lovely foliage for about 3 years here, and then they had. I guess brown can be lovely. But
yes, brown is a color, as we like to say. Unfortunately, about like 500 were planted at Fort Sam Houston, and I think there's one left.
Oh, wow.
We won't criticize the military and their decisions. Not here.
Not a military city, but
anyway. So, hey, there are a couple other questions that I was supposed to write down.
yes.
One of them was to ask Pete, do we have any Theodore cedar? But the other ones were, when are the potatoes in? We have them. They are in.
They're in.
They are in. The seed potatoes are here at Millburgers. Now, it's February 1st is when we're supposed to do this. But we have our favorite, Calvin and I's favorites. We have a white Kennebec. We have a yellow Yukon. And we have the red Pontiac.
All right.
And so, Calvin and I favor the red Pontiac. But all these are great for this area. And like I have said, there's not real big baking potatoes, but these are good-sized potatoes at maturity. And more importantly, potatoes, you can get new potatoes as the plant develops.
And are they available like they were last year, so you can get this number of?
They're sitting in the bins, and they look like you can bake them on the way home here.
Yeah.
You can either ready now bake them or cut them up for seed, and that's what you need to do. So they are whole potatoes right now, and then you can cut them up in quarters, but you need to have at least one eye. Now, do you ever callus them? You know, the old way was we had to put them in sulfur or callus them a little bit.
I never do. Every once in a while, I let them. After I cut them, I let them dry for a day.
A day, okay. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. So, and then of course we've talked about this before too. I always like the trench in your raised bed. If you can get a foot deep, so much the better. If you can't, you just go as deep as you can, and then you mound over the top, because as the stems come up, they do pretty well. And then you can start harvesting when they start blooming. And so you get new potatoes as you can use them. And then when you get when the plants decline, when they get mature, then you want to harvest the whole plant, the remaining plant, because we used to say, because if the soil's moist, they'll rot in there if you leave them. But I keep looking.
As we used to say in Spanish class, ¿Cómo se dice this moist? I don't know what it is, because I don't think I've seen moist soil for a while.
I also have, come to think of it, I don't think I've seen them, the potatoes rot in the ground for a long time either, because they're pretty easy to grow. And gosh, they're tasty. New potatoes.
Even as my grandmother, who's from Montana, would say, it's, the grandkids, it's got a little dark spot in it. I like that potato. Yeah, just take the knife out real quick and cut it out and go, there. You can eat it now.
And the other bowl, like Idaho, Maine, and Minnesota, Michigan, you can store them over a long period of time. The potatoes, they don't do as well storing here. We don't. I guess we don't get as maximum maturity or growth or what. But so it's always seems better, more successful if we go ahead and use them as new potatoes as soon as they're available. But
I love
there
potatoes.
are some guys there are gardeners and chefs that do at least a little storage. So.
Yeah, I love potatoes. Although my doctor says I shouldn't love them as much as I do.
Well, I mean, they're not. You're not overweight.
No, but it's the blood sugar.
Oh,
so rice and potatoes. It's so sad.
Can you eat sweet potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love sweet potatoes. Are wonderful.
It's much better for the blood sugar.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be right back. We have another hour with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll be back.
We're back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas, live from Millburgers Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer.
Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 930 AM The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Got one more hour on our show. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Want to give everybody a reminder, you still have until January 16th to come recycle your Christmas trees. If you do that, you'll receive a 20% off coupon. That coupon is good till the end of February. Again, you have until January 16th to come recycle your Christmas trees. Receive a 20% off coupon.
And that coupon is good for everything but.
Everything but? Let me see.
Turf grass.
Yeah, turf grass.
Pesticides.
Turf grass, labor and delivery charges are excluded from this coupon offer.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, sorry. Turf grass, labor and delivery charges are excluded.
Labor, I was thinking of.
Another topic, Mark, that I wanted to bring up a little bit because it's so obvious here, the perennials in front with this wind and the temperatures just falling below 40. Some of the plants look like they've got some frost damage. But
is that those magic numbers we talk about, 48 and 38. So we hit, I think, 37 last night. But it was accompanied by a cold wind.
Savage
cold, dry wind.
Yeah.
So in some places around town, it was more savage than ours. It was strong in Southtown, but I heard a report from someone who went to Recruitless Mall at the H-E-B, said it was so windy that people having a little difficulty walking from the store out. So I went, whoa. But it's evident in the plants. Seeing a little burning on the edge, a little wilting on the edges.
Yes.
I kind of predict, though, that they're going to come back. Or we're looking at plumbagos here. They're pretty invincible. Even a little bit of action in the lantanas. Now, the annuals look great. Now, although the cyclamens show is reflecting a little bit of that wind damage, but not much. And, of course, pansies look good.
Yes, I did cover my cyclamen last night.
Did you?
Yeah, because I could look around at some of the trees, and they're blowing on the tops. I went, well, I think I'll just cover mine up here. I had my insulate at the ready, and so I could just roll it up and over and cover it over and weight it down.
With cyclamen, the foliage wouldn't be damaged, but you might get a little bit of wilting in the flowers. The good news is that the new buds are right under the surface, so they should be fine. But I don't think there's much damage. Now, in terms of the color, we talked a lot about cyclamen, and then you and Alex talked about the pansies and on sale, and the snapdragons or snaps on sale.
Violas.
Viola.
Don't see snapdragons.
Okay, but one of the pollinators for the wintertime was one of the alyssum is there's a lot of alyssum here that has got a really nice fragrance. A few stalks have got some fragrance, but they're not as many of them as those other varieties we talked about. The dianthus attracts a lot of pollinators, and the really bright colors on the dianthus. Calendula. Did you ever get your calendula?
I did not. I was like thinking about it when you mentioned it earlier. I'm going, I probably should pick some up.
Yeah.
I have prepared the bed. That was a week ago. Last week I prepared the bed for the calendulas, but I did not get the calendulas.
They make a pretty fair cut flower, but they also they bloom for a long period and are pretty low to the ground, and they are almost as cold tolerant as the pansies. So that's a good one for the winter. And let's see. Yeah, there's snapdragons out there, but so they're available. I don't know if any of the larger. There's a few of the larger sonnets, it looks like, and then there's a number of the smaller plants.
Sonnet snapdragons, those are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
But a lot of choices out here.
Now you also discovered that.
Thank you, Mary.
You also discovered that we have some new vegetables out there.
Oh, yes. So, right before the show, both Calvin and I kind of make a tour around, and all of a sudden I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and we both have been discussing it the last couple of months. And I did a double take, and then I had a look on the tag. Sure enough, we have spinach. Folks, we have spinach
At
here.
At least 2 selections.
Yeah.
Look good. The plants
look good. We have lots of kale and some collards and vegetable. I mean, the herbs. We have a lot of dill and lavender. We just got lavender in today.
And even, I noticed some parsley in there.
Yeah.
Parsley out there.
So get your dill and parsley. And I pull this all the time: rosemary and thyme, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. I did this to Milton.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah, you'll be especially appreciated by the black swallowtails. Although I haven't seen many black swallowtail action. I guess the butterflies don't like that.
But Calvin and I have been discussing the lack of spinach for almost 3 months, and then that's what I said. I literally stopped in my tracks because it caught the corner of my eye. Because spinach does have a certain look in a number 4 container there, and then I reached out and I looked at Calvin and tried to grab his eyes. I went, "Look, spinach, spinach!" And so we have spinach transplants here.
Has it been,
come to Millburgers.
It's been a tough season, I guess, for spinach then.
What the stories were that we heard, that were told to us, is there was some difficulty in some of the wholesale producers in getting it and producing it.
It's one of those, we talk about that, should we do it by seed or transplants? It's one of those that's relatively sensitive to the temperatures and everything, and so this hot weather we've had, it appears that the producers have not produced as much as they expected, and so there was a bunch available here at Millburgers early in the season, but then there was that market that talked about that period when we didn't see many, but here's some now back, so that's great.
Over the years, we've changed our advice. Years ago, it was by seed, and then we felt we were getting better consistency with the transplants, and so we kind of changed over and tried to urge everybody to get transplants. Well, sometimes the transplants were not here, as in this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Calvin is exactly right. That's what we've heard. That we had roller coaster weather. I talked about this yesterday.
Yes, you did.
That this past year has been roller coaster. It's been warm, and then cold, and warm, and then cold, and rainy, and then dry. And so, very, very erratic weather this past year. And so, that was reflected in what we had available at the nursery.
We also had a major wholesale producer that went out of business. So that was especially important for, I don't know how it affected the spinach, but it was really important for our primula. One of we usually for years have talked about the two wonderful, beautiful, shade-loving winter plants, cyclamen and the primula. And then this year, there wasn't much primula available because of that major producer went out of business. And so it happens. And if the weather, the planning has to be pretty precise so that you don't want to overproduce, and it's great if you don't underproduce, but you can't always hit it right perfect. And this year, for a couple of those plants, we certainly didn't hit it perfect.
210-308-8867. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. I know we were talking about some of these plants having some burn spots.
Yeah. So wilting. Yeah, I mean, it's real obvious on the plumbago right in front of us. That's what Calvin noticed. But around town, and even in the nursery, you can see a little burning, a little wilting. When you see burning on leaves, you know it's burning, but it's more like wilting, I think, that I saw.
But most of the plants, like these, looks to me like the plumbago here will, 2 days from now, it'll
Bounce back.
the wilting will be gone.
I
long
think
as
a
they
little
keep
sun,
water.
a little water, you won't even notice right here. And I think that would be the case for most people.
And even though the actual temperature is not that low, whenever the wind blows in that cooler temperature, that's what causes it.
The cooling, a lot of our plants can tolerate cold. It's the combination of cold with a cold, dry wind. And a lot of times that's what's happening. We get these winds coming off the plains, off of Amarillo, and they're not only cold, they're dry, and that's what produces desiccation, and that's what we would always see in evergreen shrubs when they hadn't hardened off yet, and the soil was coolish, but still there would be some root activity, but it was dry. And so what happened was the wind would just actually pull the moisture right out of the leaves, and that's what caused, quote, air quotes, burning of the leaves. But that's what we'd see it most often was evergreens, and evergreen shrubs in particular.
We've got, how long before we have a break?
We've still got a couple minutes. We've got 5 minutes.
Okay. That was the one in the article today or yesterday in the Express News. We talked about the other wildlife that affect our plants and are in our neighborhoods, and we spent a lot of time talking about the coyotes and the deer and fox. Another thing I found interesting, and I was kind of curious about it. I think it's a common occurrence. My dogs have a truce with the skunk that lives under the house, and they have separate paths that they follow, and they can be 6 feet apart, and they just pretend they don't see each other. One go one direction, the other, and I was wondering if that's the case in a lot of other situations. You know, there's not much future in tackling skunks if you're, especially if you're a West Highland Terrier. But even big dogs have learned that it's not the best topic. So that's interesting. If anybody out there has had that experience where you got skunks that are living or transporting in your area, and your pets just kind of ignore them. And the other one that, Mark, that I find interesting was the Cooper's hawks and the squirrels.
Yeah, you had mentioned that in the article, and I was meant to ask you about that. But that's interesting that what are they?
Well,
the Cooper's hawks are they're attacking one thing, but not the squirrels.
Oh yeah, they're pretty savage when it comes to going after doves and other birds that are at the feeders or at bird baths even. But it's just like the squirrels don't exist. And now, of course, some of the hawks, like the red
shoulder and red tail. Yeah, they like those.
Yeah, but it's just like this. Squirrels just say, "Well, yeah, I'll just go about my business." Now you just concentrate on that dove, and then the Cooper's hawk does the same. They're just, I guess they're both about the same size, so there's not, they don't seem to see it as a good target. Cooper's hawks don't seem to see it as the squirrel, as fox squirrel like that, as a good target. But let us know if you've seen that too in your feeders. If the Cooper's hawks ignore your squirrels in the area, or if they do battle or even feed on them, because if you had not experienced what I've seen, I would question whether they would ignore them, but they seem to do it.
Absolutely. Let us know. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
Well, I was going to say, sorry about that, that I had 3 questions that I wrote down. You didn't have to tattoo them on my head, so no. So, potatoes. We have seed potatoes. The Deodorant cedar. We have them. And I just was informed just a minute ago, we have them not in large boxes, which I thought was going to be it, but in number 6 or number 7. I'm thinking number 7. But they're dwarf ones. They're supposed to not give above 6 or 7
all dwarf
feet.
ones?
No. Well, he didn't say. He didn't say, but there are dwarf ones available. And so they're not supposed to get above 6 or 7 feet.
Oh, wow.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he said there was a really interesting one. It doesn't interest me, but somebody out there may like it. It has a unique yellow color.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have those. But on the downside, fruit trees.
Yes.
Yesterday I said, end of the month.
End of the month, yes.
That was informed in February.
End of February?
Well, no, in February.
In February.
They were unsure as to when.
Right.
So, or I'm unsure as to when. But February, make sure that you come for your fruit trees. And if you want to know what fruit trees, just give us a call. We had a gentleman yesterday that was planting his entire yard. He had, was it 10 acres? He wanted to plant every acre with fruit trees, and he was getting all the ones we recommend.
Yeah, he was getting good production too.
Yeah. So we were both looking at each other when he mentioned apples. Apples are very difficult to grow in South Texas.
Are they now?
And he seemed to be doing real well. So that's
Yeah, well, he had all.
I'm sorry,
those
sir, I forgot your name, but go ahead. Yay!
Yeah, he had mentioned 4 or 5 selections, and then he got enough production out of there. So he was debating which one was the most desirable and tastiest and everything. I said, wow, just getting some fruit.
I was just going to say, in the past, two fruit were, wow, you're really good, but. Sounds like he's doing really well. But anyway,
let's say, what did he mention? He had Gala?
He had all of them. He had Einsteiner, Anna. He was Golden Delicious was one of his most successful. Mm-hmm. Well, that's lower on my list, but my list includes Gala and Molly's Delicious.
Yeah, Molly's Delicious.
Yeah, but his Golden Delicious was doing very well.
That's good. Well, give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Mark, earlier you were talking about apple trees, how there's not a huge success here in the South.
Yeah, that's a good question. A couple of things. Temperature is one, but the most important factor is cotton root rot. And that's a disease, which is a fungal disease, which is pretty much ubiquitous throughout Texas. Anytime you have heavy clay soil, you're going to have the cotton root rot fungus. So members of the rose family, particularly apples, seem to be very susceptible to it. So there was a large attempt trying to create an apple industry up in Medina and thereabouts. Also up in Lubbock, and they have a little bit better success up there in Lubbock and Amarillo. But what eventually killed it down here in the hill country was continuation of cotton root rot, problems with cotton root rot. The only way to really deal with it is try to acidify the soil, and it got too expensive to do that. So it was great. They used to have great apple festivals in Medina.
Okay.
But that kind of went away. It's very difficult to do. So we do it. We try to say raised beds and try to keep the soil as close to neutral as possible.
Gotcha. Well, aside from apple trees, what other fruit trees get a little more success down here in the South? Or
my three choices for fruit trees in the San Antonio area are citrus, and I like the satsumas, pears, the European or Asian hybrid pears, not Bartlett. In fact, I saw an old farmstead just the other day, and it had this really wonderful straight columnar tree with great fall color. I went up and got close to it, and I wondered, it's just a pear, just a common old pear. And then my third one is figs. I mean, I think if you have all those, you'll have fruit out of your mind, going out. But if you want peaches, that's a little different thing. You're going to have to work on the soil. You have to work on varieties that are low chill temperatures. And what else? A lot of labor going into the pruning.
That's right. And then they don't even with all that work, and you do it well, you don't have a long-lived tree. Peach trees. Now, my favorite, of course, is the Florida King. That one seems to be most successful and most reliable, and produces it's a low chill peach, and so our typical winter can produce enough cool weather for it to produce an attractive, relatively large fruit. And the problem with fruits, well, at least peaches, if they've got a long season, then they're sitting on that tree, all the birds and the insects and the diseases are all waiting to get them, and they do quite often. Now, of course, the figs are quick producers. Now the pears seem to manage to live through that threat, but the peaches, it's tough. Some of the recommended varieties, like La Feliciana, is you harvest it relatively late in the season, but boy, that's tough to keep it alive and in good shape during that period. But
it's a challenge and an opportunity. As Calvin and I like to say, it's a challenge and an opportunity. So There are a host of great peaches. It's just when you come out of Fredericksburg area down here in San Antonio, there's some more challenges involved. Plums, Methley is one. There's a couple others that I can't remember right now offhand. Then you get in the different stuff. The gentleman yesterday mentioned jujubes. And I'm like, well, a lot of pit for a little fruit, but I fear them getting out of control. He didn't say he didn't have a problem yet, but they have been known to become very invasive. Pomegranates, very, very San Antonio favorite, a favorite and favorable in our area is what I was looking for.
I just love their blooms.
Yeah, and I'm like more, I just go with the blooms, not with the fruit. I don't worry about the fruit.
And the deer don't eat them. At least in my neighborhood, the deer don't eat them, and they have the bloom that starts in about, it lasts 6 weeks on those plants. They're big, nice, thin, disciplined shrub. Now these are ornamentals, but there are also some that
produce fruit.
A lot of selections that produce fruit.
I said I'm not interested in the fruit. I can go to H-E-B to get that if I wanted to. I'm more interested in the blooms, which are very attractive. So next month we're going to have the quinces, which is a similar flower, and then we'll have the pomegranates coming out. So it's a very beautiful flower. Everyone in San Antonio should have a pomegranate, ornamental preferably. Well, not too many other. Grapes. We have a few. We have Victoria Red and Season Sensation. Both of them are available here.
Good memory.
Sometimes the coffee is helping. Yeah. I can see it.
Is it the coffee being brewed or the coffee being delivered, or is it?
No, it's just the taste of coffee.
Oh,
it's the chemicals. So that's the white and a red for grapes. But the one thing else.
How about blackberries too? Blackberries.
Oh yeah, blackberries. There we go. That's the San Antonio. But there's a whole bunch. Let's see, it's Brazos. Let's see if I can remember them. Brazos, Kiowa, Roseboro, Natchez. Is there Natchez?
Yeah, there is a Natchez. I think that's a thornless.
Yeah, is it I can't remember whether it's Kiowa or Natchez is the thornless one. But
the Brazos is a real productive and reliable one, and Roseboro and now the kind of the Kiowa I think is taken over as the most popular.
I think you're right,
because it's a little sweeter and bigger fruit.
Bigger is better. But anyway, there's opportunities. Don't just limit yourself to thinking you have to do peaches or even apples. Other opportunities. Now, having said that, we have a lot of Californians coming in, bless their hearts, and they're wanting nectarines. What else? Nectarines, or I can't think right now, but not so much here, because we have in the summertime we have 80% humidity with 100 degrees at midnight. Yeah, they don't. A lot of these Californian species, apricots. That's the other one. Well, apricots or nectarines. So I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen here. Our weather conditions are just not conducive for those. But we have loquats, and we have blackberries, and we have lots of different stuff.
Very exciting.
Okay, now I get off my soapbox here.
Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
What?
What's that?
Oh,
Oh,
Hey. Oh, just repeat for everybody. We do have seed potatoes here. And we have Kennebec, that's a white one. Yukon, that's the yellow one. And then red Pontiac, it's the red one. That's the one I like.
and then another. I went and got my coffee refill. I checked the sign-up list and still got that class. The first class for the rodeo tomatoes is here at Millburgers, and it's on the 21st of February at 10:30 a.m. And the first 35 folks that sign up will get a potted up rodeo tomato. And then, of course, we invite others to, if there's more than 35, they're certainly welcome to the lecture. And the call to reserve a spot, call 210-497-3760. 497-3760. And that's on, it's not until February 21st. And then the other class, you remember where that one is, Alex?
yes. It's February 28th. It's at the Resource Center over in the Medical Center. That one's a different number. That number...
210-382-4455. And then of course, we'll be talking more about it and writing about the Monarch and Milkweed classes. They'll start in
March.
March, yeah, and they'll be including in New Braunfels and Floresville, and there'll be one here at Millburgers and another one at the Education Resource Center.
Absolutely.
There you get access to some germinated milkweed, and we'll try to get you some seeds, some stratified seeds, so that you can plant them in your garden or in your landscape someplace in full sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that the monarchs will lay eggs on are milkweed, and we've got we're concentrating on about 6 native milkweed varieties for.
I'm not going to ask you what those 6 are because I can never remember myself.
Okay, it's antelope horn,
yeah,
showy,
yeah,
swamp,
yeah,
butterfly weed,
yeah.
Zizodi.
Okay, we got one more then.
Yeah.
Don't we have a green?
Green. Yeah, that's the common.
Mm.
But those 6, none of them are easy. Generally, we get about 50% germination rate. The toughest part about getting the milkweed started is the transplanting into the permanent spot in the landscape. They need to be in full sun.
It's even less. I mean, so you're getting germination in the little containers, and then you try and transplant those out, and it's even less.
Very much less, 10%.
Yeah.
So that's the tough. That's why we're going to try to get you the attendees to the classes some stratified seeds, so that you can take the seed and go directly into plant it, and see if we can increase that percentage. Now it's kind of amazing because once the milkweed is established, it can be a very tough weed to get rid of. You just ask some of the farmers, yeah. But it takes a few years for it to get very productive. Now the exception is tropical milkweed. Tropical milkweed is relatively easy to get to germinate and transplant, and the monarchs love it.
Yeah. So that's what I said is, boy, I sure do like that tropical. It's pretty and prolific and what have you.
And you're right. The monarchs, it's their favorite, and it's also the favorite of the gardeners because it's attractive and easy to grow. So there's a lot we need to learn about tropical and whether it is. We know it challenges our getting our monarchs to migrate when they need to defeat the weather challenges. Mm-hmm. But it also may be a home for some parasites and perhaps some diseases that are a problem. So we're trying to learn a lot more about tropical milkweed.
All right, sounds exciting. We're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're going to get Bert on the line. We'll be right back with Millburgers Gardening on South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We have Bert on the line. Bert, thank you for holding. How are we doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Y'all sound good, nice and toasty on this chilly day.
Yes.
Yes, it's not too much wind. That's good.
Yes, last night, that's why I did not have a little bonfire. It got up there a little bit, so. But, yes, it was nice and chilly this morning, I'll say that. The question, what I said yesterday, I wanted to ask about trees, and then you brought up citrus and figs, and that's right up my alley, because that's where I want to go. With the citrus, I happen to like bitter oranges. Would they go good here, or are they just like a shrub citrus?
What is it?
So on the bitter oranges, that's usually the rootstock. So the trifoliata, a couple other rootstocks that they have. So if you go around and you can, I don't even know anybody who sells bitter orange, but if you wanted to grow it, you just get a cheap orange around and cut the top off and let the sprout grow from the bottom.
Thank you so much. That's,
I said you can see it around on the east side every so often, but
for some reason they. Go ahead, Calvin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bert. There's a whole ton of different selections. Is there a bitter orange that you're familiar with that do they use in recipes or anything? Not.
No, a friend of mine had a little wine bistro in New Orleans, and he liked bitter oranges as I did, and they just seemed to grow as like a shrub, like a hedge type of thing, and they were the size at the most of ping pong ball.
Yeah. Did it have thorns?
Yeah.
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 Oh, yes. But I like them, too. I would risk the thorns. It's just like, the smell of beautiful rose. I'll risk them thorns also.
Yeah. So citrus trifoliata is a native one. I don't know where you can get one, because it's the bitter orange. And you're right. It's ping pong. That's the appropriate size, ping pong ball.
So I'll look it up. I was just trying to see. I'll look up citrus farmers here in Texas and see if anybody match it up.
That's a good idea.
It's kind of a strange way to look for one, but when the nurseries get their shipments of the oranges and everything, quite often they'll have one or more of the plants that the tops have died, and then you notice they're kind of in a separate.
They're off to the side.
Yeah,
they're
stepchild.
I've seen it. They grow like suckers, if I remember correctly. They grow
Correct.
Straight up the side of the shoe. I mean, they just go straight up.
Correct.
And
that's why, and with thorns and a different, slightly different leaf shape, and you can pick it up right away if you know what you're looking for.
All right. Now here's another one. You're talking about figs, and I want to put in a couple of figs. Now, are figs self-pollinating, or are they gender-specific plants?
No, they're self-pollinating.
Oh, good.
You don't need two.
No.
No.
Some of them are. I don't know what makes. Some of them produce a ton, and some of them produce a very, very few. Quite often they. I was just trying to visualize. Quite often they are plants that have ended up in the shade for some reason.
Yeah, well, they may have been planted
years ago,
yeah. And then the tree shade overtook them or so.
Yeah.
And they are known to be rambunctious, and that given water, they will get really big. So you got to watch it.
And have lots of Band-Aids.
Hey, oh, yeah. Well, what variety of fig would you recommend for here?
I'm a Celeste guy.
Yeah, I've become a Celeste person, too.
So here are your varieties that I remember. Alma, Celeste, Brown Turkey, Texas Everberry.
Okay.
Now, what we discovered is that a lot of times it's hard to tell the difference between some of those.
Yeah, it's just the great debate. Is Brown Turkey and Texas Everberry the same one?
Well, the question is, I have also, would I buy it if I want it to be ready to produce? Then it should be 3 years older, so I'm probably looking at like in a 20-gallon pot or something like that.
No, the figs grow fast, so you can, if you can get a 5-gallon container, you'll have the producing fruit the next year. At least.
Right, yeah. Now, you will have to be pruning appropriately and watering appropriately because you have a smaller root mass, so your water holding capacity. So
that was one. We had a fig tree we talked last time about poinsettias that I took care of. I also was assigned the fig tree. We had a fig tree in the old area of New Orleans that I grew up at, and they were kind of purplish brown. It was a smaller varietal. I just remember it always being there, just like poinsettia.
Were they real sweet?
Yes, they were. They had like I said, purplish to the very, very center of the fruit was kind of pinkish red.
Is that the Celeste?
No, well, yeah, either an earlier form of Celeste. So, Bert, just to let you know, so there was some questions on this. A listener had brought up some questions. So earlier this summer, I went and did some research. And what I found, there's two main groups of figs. There's one that tends toward a sugary taste, and one that tends toward a honeyed taste. And the two branches, they're genetic. And however, I can't remember. That's 7 months ago.
I'll look it up and I'll see about the wasp, because I know there's a wasp that likes to dwell in the figs.
So there's open end and closed end, and I don't worry about the wasp. It's muscarnal.
I'll eat it. Extra protein.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So I don't know which one is which. I know that is a distinct one. What you're describing is a very distinct fig. I just don't know the name of it. Now, does it have strawberry taste? Do you remember a little strawberry taste to it? Maybe.
I surely do not. Back the last one I remembered when I was stationed out in the Pacific coast was they had some real mission figs. They were very good to grill. I'm not sure if that's the proper variety I'm talking about.
No, that is a variety, and that's I think those are the ones coming out of California mostly.
Right, yeah. 'Cause I was at Monterey Bay Defense Language Institute, and so
Hey, when were you there?
2005 to after Katrina, right after Katrina, when they were sending
much
me.
later than you, Calvin. Calvin was also there.
Yeah, I was there earlier than you.
Oh yeah.
A
Well,
couple
I'm not gonna-
conflicts
I'm
earlier
not-
than you. Okay.
I'm not going to ask how young you are, Calvin. So there.
Let's just
But
say
yeah,
a couple of conflicts before you.
Yes, because my first one was Panama. So, but just okay. And then Mark, you said something like there's a very good yucca, and I have the slope in the background. I know it's probably last month or the month before, but I want a native yucca because to deal with the dry ground here, let's just go with the plants that work.
That's right. Now, so I'll ask you then, what size do you want?
Fairly deep. I mean, I can start small though. I was even thinking of trying lemongrass, but I forgot that that's a semi-tropical or a tropical.
So,
nothing has to be too big right off the bat. I'm not that pretentious or anything. I just let it grow. Put them in the ground and let them grow.
right. So you got a lot of options. Now the problem is, finding them. So you got a very common one is twisted leaf yucca. Twisted leaf. Another one is soft leaf. But on that slope, we may look for two other ones. One's called bear grass or sacadawista. You just can do bear grass. And sotol on that back slope. That might be kind of good, too.
SOTOL.
Yeah. S-O-T-O-L. Yeah. And they grow up to be about so tall. That's an old Paul Cox one.
A very, very good segue, Mark.
Don't encourage him. That
was my mother. Don't encourage him. So that's, on those succulent type things, that's now an easier one to get on that slope, which might be very nice, is a red yucca.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And
I'm thinking of that for color.
Yeah.
What is one with the savage, sharp?
Well, there's one that's really pretty that I really like. That's rosata, and that's the kind of the blue-green one with a little bald head on that. And then the bigger ones, that's the Spanish dagger.
Oh yeah.
And so there's
they're attractive, but they're savage.
Yeah, there's two different ones. There's one in our area, which is called the scientific name is Traculiata, and Traculiana, and that's just a smaller version of the big one you see in Big Bend. You see these really big ones with big long fronds that come out into like a dagger.
Yes, I think I remember them when I lived out in New Mexico as well.
Mm-hmm. But I like, as far as the bigger yuccas, I like the rostrata, and you can see this around town. So it gets up maybe 6 feet or so, and it has maybe 2 heads, but they're blue-green foliage, and they're very tight, and it's almost like a little ball around the top.
And I have one comment. One of your people is the not Native American seed, but the Native the chapter of Texas Native Plants.
Yeah.
He was on, and that's what I was glad that you brought that up about the what was it? Something berry plant, frogberry. Because he said that he had a video out that said 10 Texas plants you can't kill.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right, appreciate it, Bert. We're done for the day.
I know it's up.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, Bert.
Love hearing
Bye,
from you.
Bert.
Thank you for tuning in to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll see you next week.